Hello and welcome to my last 100-hour video for at least a little bit. I just need to take a small break to work on some other stuff for a bit, so quickly to you guys, if you have any ideas for another series you want me to do, let me know in the comments and I'll have a look through all of them. This month, I spent 100 hours freestyling, going for shots and just learning some new freestyle mechanics. This was a wild time and honestly might be the most I've ever improved mechanically over the course of one of these 100-hour periods. This month I spent a lot of time in free play and casual ones learning different freestyle mechanics and trying to get some clips for you guys. And considering where I was at the start of this month, I am very happy with the progress. Normally with these videos I have some sort of tutorial that goes along with it, but considering there was a lot going on in this video and a few different kinds of shots, I'm going to leave them out and talk more about the shots themselves, how I went into learning them and how you can improve if you're looking to become a freestyler. If you want the tutorials for any of these shots, let me know in the comments. Lastly, before we jump into the video, a quick word from our sponsor. So, I'm a very vain person. I care a lot about my appearance and most importantly, my hair, and I'm sure a lot of you do too, which is why I am very thankful for today's sponsor, Keeps. Now, unfortunately, 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35, but the best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair. Normally, you'd have to go to the doctors for your hair prescription. Now thanks to Keeps, you can visit a doctor online and get hair loss medication delivered right to your door. The product can take up to 4 to 6 months or more to see results, so it is important to act fast. The sooner you start, the more hair you'll save. So, if you have worries or are noticing that you're losing hair, do something about it. For a limited time, go to keeps.com/Thanovic or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. So, this was the month that I put all ranked matches aside and focused solely on learning to be a freestyler. I had a few shots in mind that I wanted to learn. Firstly, I put a lot of attention to breezy flicks and trying to get a lot more consistent at them. Then I wanted to learn the ceiling musty or ceiling breezy double tap. Then I wanted to work on musties from the wall, and finally I looked at trying to hit a double flip reset. Starting off, breezy flicks were my go-to shot because they were something I was already very comfortable with. The movement and the flick itself was my go-to whenever I'm in free play and just messing around. So using them in-game came pretty easy to me. I decided after a few games that getting better at delaying the breezy flick was my next goal. It was something I'd seen players like Evampel doing all the time, and I wanted to see how hard it would be to pick up considering I already knew the base mechanic. So heading into free play, I realized it was actually really easy. Everything is exactly the same, but you flick the analog stick down for a fraction of a second once you move into the flick. However, what this did to my self-confidence in my freestyling skills was insane. I literally felt so much better about my breezes because it felt like I was being flashy. If I was given any time on the ball while I was dribbling, it was my go-to move, and so at the end of the month, I think that this is the mechanic I am most comfortable with, and the one that I'm pretty sure I could implement in my actual gameplay from time to time. At the same time, learning this delay movement for the breezy helped me to learn the same thing for my musty flicks. And for those of you who don't know, the delay can help you time your shots a little better, can potentially get more power behind the shot, give you a chance to change the positioning of the shot, and just makes it look a little fancier. If you would like a quick rundown of the breezy flick, I covered it at the end of my 100 hours of flicks videos, otherwise I can make a full tutorial if you want. Next, I looked at the ceiling musty/ceiling breezy double touch. I covered this recently in a video, but this is the first aerial mechanic that I've pulled off and gone, damn, I'm actually getting somewhere in this game. At the start of the process, it was a case of I have no idea how to go about this, or where to put my car, or how to move, and then it only took about 4 hours before I was starting to hit the shot off the backboard pretty consistently. Hitting the shot and actually scoring it took a little longer though, and I'm still not consistent with that, but training the movement of the breezy flick on the ground had helped me massively when it came to setting up in the air. And so, I picked up how to do the actual flick towards the backboard pretty quickly. The main difficulty I have with this shot, and the one I think many people will have trying this for the first time, is that the power from the musty or breezy flick can be pretty unreliable. Sometimes it's going to bang perfectly and land in a good spot for you, and there's going to be times where it goes way too hard or way too soft. I found that a lot of the time I was flicking with too much power and sending it way off to the side, never really being able to get back behind the ball for the double touch. This led me to look into a few things. 1. I saw that I was still delaying my flicks sometimes, and 2. I would start the shot from further back to give me more room to work with. Once I stopped delaying the flick, I had found I had a much better time getting consistent power on the ball and having the placement be pretty much in line with where I was going. Moving further back helped in free play, but heading into casual games, I found that I need to hit the ball further down the field to have the boost to get myself to the ceiling, back down behind the ball, flick into it, and then move into a double touch position. So while I had a lot of fun with this mechanic and is something I still spend a lot of time doing in free play when I'm messing around, it is the mechanic that I want to try my best to master over the course of the rest of the year. It can be unpredictable, it can easily fail on you, and you can give up an easy goal, but at the end of the day, it is by far one of the most satisfying shots I've ever hit. And as someone who is by no means a freestyler, it actually makes me really happy when I do score them, because I can see my actual growth in my car control. The next shot on my list was the musty from the sidewall, either into a double touch or just as a shot by itself. Now, you would think this shot would be easier than the last one, but you would be wrong. Kinda. You see, with the ceiling shot, everything was very straightforward. Hit the ceiling, maintain your flip, and then flick into it whenever you're ready or whenever you're lined up. With the sidewall musty flick, I had a lot of trouble because you don't maintain your flip. You're on a time limit. This means that your setup and movement has to be perfect in order to get to the right place and have your flick ready at the right time. Now, when I was asking chat on Twitch about how to set this up, I was told I needed to start the shot pretty low on the wall. I also found that I had a lot more success when I was trying from the left hand side. This is because I use air roll left instead of air roll right. Air roll left means my car will rotate towards the wall on the left hand side and make the rotation and positioning a lot faster, which can help with getting the movement and timing down. I only ever hit this shot a few times and only ever in-game once, but it is one of the shots that I'm looking to improve in the near future. The things I'm going to need to improve on is the timing and movement as well as the setup in general. Understanding where might be the best place to take off, whether it's on the lower half of the wall or coming off the wall at a medium height like I've seen some other players doing. Another thing I've seen from some YouTube videos is that people sometimes hit the ball off the wall, then wait just a fraction of a second and then jump off. This gives it a split second to peak in the air and then slightly on its way down, giving you an easier time connecting with the flip. This is going to be something I look into in the future, and if I end up making a tutorial on this kind of thing, I'll let you know how it goes. But now, onto the hardest shot I tried to hit this month. The double flip reset is something I have been asked to make a tutorial on since February when I came out with my 100 hours of flip reset video. But unfortunately, it was something I could just not do at the time, and even now, I am finding it very difficult to hit the shot. I'm not a fan of the double flip reset where you stall underneath the ball to get the reset, and so I attempted each one of these using the flip to get me into the next reset position. The shot felt almost impossible for me. For a long time, I couldn't figure out what kind of angle I needed to get my car into in order to land properly underneath the ball for the next reset. And also, I kinda left it to the last second to learn because I was having way too much fun with some of the other mechanics. Of course, because of the whole air roll left situation I just mentioned, once again, I was much more comfortable coming from the left-hand wall than the right. I kinda had to teach myself how to properly flip reset again in order to give myself more time to get to the second one. Thankfully, Verge was in my Twitch chat at one point and reminded me that I would need to get to the ball and make contact a lot faster in order to give myself more time to position afterwards. Not only is this good for double flip resets, but it's incredibly helpful for flip resets in general, as it's going to give you a lot more time to work your way into a position to shoot the ball wherever you like. Now, unfortunately, I didn't end up hitting a double flip reset in game, but my single resets became so much more consistent it was kinda crazy. In the space of a month, I went from being able to kinda hit some cool shots like a few times a week to being able to hit some sort of shot every few games. My flip resets in general are feeling really good and I'm finding different ways to use them in game. The main thing I am happy with though at the end of all of this is my general car control. I feel like I have so much more control over my car in general and am much more reliable in the air. I can read the ball a lot better because I've spent so much time in casual matches messing around and going for weird shots. I have a better time being able to make solid contact with the ball, and actually I'm just having more fun playing the game now that it feels like I have more options when I do have the ball. Now for those of you wondering if this is something you should try, I'd say yes and no. I think it's important to push yourself and to have fun, but I also think it is important to work realistically at times. What I mean by this is if you're new to the game, maybe focus on some of the lower level things like fast aerials, minor redirects, and solid touches. Once you get a little higher in the ranks, you can start to factor in some of the more different advanced freestyle mechanics that, even though you may never intend to use in the game, will benefit you in the long run due to not only training them and the muscle memory, but will additionally train multiple factors of your car control and aerial car control at the same time. Now, this video was a lot of fun for me to make, and so I do hope you enjoyed it. Once again, please let me know in the comments if you have a series idea that you'd like to see me try out while I'm on a little break from the 100-hour series. My links to my social medias are all in the description, as well as the link to my new Gamers Ready course that is the one-stop shop to take you from any rank right the way up to Grand Champ and above. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you next time.